Peace be upon you. My name is Mohammed. A new clip and a new story. But before starting, don't forget to pray for the Prophet Muhammad. May God bless him and grant him peace. Let's begin. My name is Danny William. I work as a natural life photographer in the forests. The nature of my work makes me stay in the forests for 11 months throughout the year, and I take 1 month of a year to spend with my friends and family. She traveled a lot of jungles and traveled around the world and won many awards for the photos she took. The story I will tell you happened in an African forest. I had finished filming and adjusting my equipment to return to the camp where I was staying, and suddenly a deer appeared in front of me and caught my eye for no apparent reason. I focused a little on the deer and found that its behavior was strange. It moved very slowly as if was running, but using slow motion technology as if it were in a video or an edited movie. I decided to photograph what was happening and quickly took out my camera and started photographing the deer and the strange things that were happening. After a few minutes, I decided to set the camera on the rock and slowly get closer to the deer in order to understand what was happening. Because in all my experience, more than 15 years, I had never seen a scene like this in my life. Indeed, the camera was fixed and approached the deer, but the deer began to move backwards with the same motion, and its gaze was focused on a rock close to it. After a certain distance, the deer returned to normal and ran very quickly and did not look at it at all, as it does and looks when there is a lion chasing it. I decided to go back quickly, get the camera and take a photo near the rock. When I got close the rock, I had an epileptic seizure and fell from my height and lost consciousness. After a while, I woke up and found myself in a hospital, and when the doctors and my colleagues were asking me what happened, I was unable to respond or speak, and my tongue was as if it did not exist and I could not control it. Then I remembered the camera and looked at it with my eyes because I discovered that I was unable to control any part of my body, and the doctor diagnosed my condition as having gone into shock, and after a while I would be able to ease up and return to normal again. When my colleagues opened the camera, they found a video of the deer moving in an strange movement, as I described to you at the beginning of the story, and in front of it was a huge black, blurry object. I did not see this object, but when I quickly came back and took the camera and brought it closer to the rock, I saw in front of me a small child. His color was red and his eyes were red, and this was a strange thing, very much because we in Africa, not America. So to say the child is an American Indian, it is natural for the child to be black. My colleagues handed over the video to the police, who set up a search team to search for the child in the forest. But after 2 days, none of the 5 individuals returned except two, and the other three disappeared. And the police increased the number of members of the search teams to search for the child, and members of the initial search teams did not find the child, but they found the bodies of 3 individuals with their heads removed and mutilated. The police closed the forest and prevented anyone from entering it, and I am still afraid and unable to move. But he keeps talking with a stammer, like a little child. And I want to tell you that to this day I still see the red child standing in front of the door of my room in the hospital. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so we can continue. The second story is titled The Wonderful Flower. In one of the forests, a girl named Jessie was roaming. Jessie loved forests, forest plants, and landscapes, and loved exploring. On her way, Jessie found a strange plant that she had seen for the first time despite her exploratory trips in many forests. This plant was very beautiful, and when Jessie approached it, she smelled a beautiful scent which prompted her inhale more of its beautiful scent. But for a while, Jessie found that the forest had become very dark even though it was the middle of the day. Jessie also noticed that the trees in the forest became denser and curled up around each other. Jessie was felt a shiver running through her body and was a little afraid. And suddenly, she heard a strange sound around her, which was the sound of footsteps and the sound of strange whispers. Jessie was frightened this time and was overcome with terror and fell unconscious. Jessie woke up to find herself tied stakes with tightly tied ropes, and around her were half-naked people with strange shapes who were performing some strange rituals. Jessie looked around and saw a strange woman with animal teeth in various places on her body, reading and muttering very strange words. Suddenly, this woman approached Jessie and put red liquid on her head and continued muttering incomprehensible words. Jessie couldn't scream or move and was just watching what was happening to her. Suddenly, the woman took out a knife and cut Jessie's chest with it, took out her heart and chewed it. Jessie was shocked by what she saw, but she noticed something strange even though the woman removed her heart with the rest of her internal organs. Jessie still saw and watched what the woman was doing to her. After removing her internal organs, they cut up Jessie, put her in a large pot, cooked her, and made all the tribe members eat from her. The strange thing is that Jessie, one way or another, still sees what they are doing to her even after eating her. After a while, Jessie woke up to find herself in her place next to the plant whose scent she was smelling. Jessie learned that this plant had made her unconscious and she was dreaming. Jessie was very happy that all this horror was just a dream and decided to take the plant with her and search for it on internet. When Jessie searched for the plant, she found a group of legends surrounding it, meaning that forest dwellers and savages ate human flesh. If the head person's family was able to obtain a part of it, they would burn it and make fertilizer soil from it to plant a specific flower that had a beautiful scent. The strange thing is that whoever smelled the scent of this flower would see the memories of this dead person. This story was the strangest thing that happened to Jessie in her entire life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so we can continue. Third story is titled Devils in Upper Egypt. One day, the people of a village in Upper Egypt gathered to declare that there was a place that no one could pass, even by it, especially on winter nights after midnight. The most daring among them was the one who dared to push himself to pass through this place. Many challenges arose among the young people, and every one of them came out with a disaster he bears, telling its story and vows to God that he will not return to his recklessness again. A farming place was where two people were killed by gunfire and the blood flowed in it. And since then, two demons from the jinn have emerged, sometimes taking the shape of the two dead people and sometimes in the forms for which God has sent down authority, and each according to the personality in front of them. But what two people in this village did not disagree about is that the place is forbidden after midnight until dawn, and harm is so common during the long winter nights that strangers are warned off as soon as they set foot in the village. Sometimes a goblin comes out in shabby clothes with frightening red eyes, frightening everyone who meets him on his way. Women have even complained about the worsening situation and the strange sounds they hear at night. Some of them maintained that the door felt like someone was knocking on it all night long, and whenever they looked to see who was knocking without realizing it, you open the door due to the night and no one answers. The stories were many, and some of the men of the village gathered to find a solution. Indeed, they brought a sheikh and he read some verses of the Holy Quran and did some things, and everything that was strange happened ended. Today's stories are over. I hope they terrified you. Don't forget to pray for the Prophet Muhammad. May God bless him and grant him peace. Subscribe to the channel, like the video and share your opinions in the comments. Peace, mercy and blessings of God.